2025 has been an absolutely phenomenal year for Mlbb, with tons of interesting updates and events steamrolling the battlefield with every passing day. Man, I've never felt so overwhelmed by the sheer amount of new content before, even if it gets repetitive after the first week. But since we're nearing the end of the year, your man Dryrak here will take you down memory lane and reminisce about the top 5 updates of Mlbb in 2025. This isn't a video where I glaze ML, by the way. If I got $1 for every time I did that, I would have $0. Let's go. Before we begin, honourable mention to MCGG, which kicked off its first official season at the start of this year, and will be commencing their first ever international soon. MCGG features unique gameplay and strategic team building. If you haven't played the game yet, you should definitely consider doing so. Starting off strong at number 5, we have ML's 9th anniversary. October 9 marks 9 years of Mlbb, an important milestone for this ever-growing MOBA. Though this update does not change any fundamentals about the game itself, it serves as an important milestone in the game's journey, with next year being the mark of a decade, which I expect a lot out of. Other than 4 new skins and a decoratable interface, this event really is just a commemoration of the company's efforts in leveling up the game, and the dedicated player base that made all of this possible. Happy birthday Mlbb. At number 4, we have the Naruto collab. May 2nd marked the biggest anime collab in Mlbb's history, so big that the heroes released in that time period, Tsuyo, Lucas, and Kalia, all bear resemblance to their respective skins. This was a long-awaited collab, and they did not fail to deliver. Running for a whopping 1.5 months, the skin effects and animations were all of the highest caliber, even including the free Gaara skin. It also featured its own event and introduced battle banners that encouraged players to show off their favourite characters in a cool cinematic way. This update is truly one for Naruto fans and anime lovers in general. With events out of the way, we can finally talk about the game-changing updates that made it into our top 3. Whether you like it or not, they are here to stay. At number 3, we have the revamped heroes. This year alone had a whopping number of 5 revamped heroes, a 25% increase from last year. This features Hanzo, Kimi, Grok, Alice, and Freya, with some being game-breaking, some being mediocre, and others, well, not so much. Though this seems like bias since 2 of my favourite heroes were actually revamped, it does not change the fact that hero revamps are healthy for the game in general. We are also only including revamps that tweak the hero's kit entirely, so heroes like YSS and Rafaela are not in the list. It is always heartwarming when games identify an issue with a hero and take feedback from the players to improve it as much as possible. Kimi went from a lethal jungle goat to a poking mage that has insurmountable firepower in the late game. Alice went from a niche snowballing hero to a reliable XP laner that provides huge benefit when the timing is mastered. You can argue that they are broken, but there are always ways around them. Plus, I for sure think that a broken hero is better than an unused one. Angela is a separate case. I am sure that I'm not the only one who feels a sense of nostalgia playing the last game on my favourite heroes right before they get revamped while looking forward to what their fresh gameplay brings. At number 2, we have the game-changing Fighter Goat. Yes, the update that claims the second spot isn't even a dedicated update, it was just a transition throughout the months. This segment will feature a short elaboration on Fighter Goat, so you are caught up with what works and why it works. This all stems from a simple adjustment that Moonton made, to reduce the gold per minion on the gold lane. This encouraged professional MPL players to reconsider traditional marksmen that take time and items to scale. This allowed them to opt for fighters in the gold lane, which typically provide their utility in teamfights from just their war axe. This is also the reason why despite the early Radiant Prios and the nerfs towards Stallium side, magic damage gold laners who need either less items or just a holy crystal have seen an increase in popularity too. Behind Fighter Gold lies 2 main bases. The fighter can't just be any fighter, it has to be one that benefits off sustain with a decent amount of CC. This allows fighters to be relevant in both the laning and team fighting stages of the game. Secondly, fighters have to make use of their high base damage in their kit to deny as much farm from their gold lane counterpart as possible. This can be achieved through various lane hacks and staggering their spell vamp purposefully. However, this strategy is not without flaws. Even in the professional scene, teams often pair Fighter Gold with either YSS or Kimi for the scaling damage, or overload their composition with a ton of CC to make up for the loss of late game DPS. Even if you do not play ML competitively, you will have seen this strategy in your own ranked games, so mastering it will definitely bring you more wins. And now, we come to the best ML update of 2025. It is none other than the Project Nyx update. Ever since the Necrokeep update, I have been a huge fan of Project Nyx updates, and the Abyss patch was no exception. This update introduced new looks to our 3 Abyss heroes and brought in Obsidia, one of the most unique marksmen in the entire game. If you wanna view my Obsidia video, link is in the description. This update also introduced the new achievement system, allowing players to flex both their collection points as well as the mastery of roles in the game. Apart from accessories, this update also brought in fresh new gameplay. First up is the annual map change that introduced 4 different maps to MLBB, with each delivering a unique twist to the battlefield. Though I was and still am slightly hesitant about this change, it is no doubt a fresh outlook to the game and has potential to take the game to greater heights with newfound strategies. In addition, roamers were also optimized to give more love for the most forgotten and underappreciated role in the game. They are now awarded more gold for supporting the team and revealing enemies on the map, complementing the core idea of their kit better and encouraging players to step up their roam game, the best change in my opinion. Adding to that are user improvements, performance optimizations, and balance changes that serve to shake up the meta. Overall, it was in my opinion the biggest patch of the year that complemented all 4 updates above, and Moonton did a great one at that. Good job, Moonton. And that was the top 5 MLBB updates of 2025. Which was your favourite? Which do you disagree with? I would love to hear your thoughts, so comment down below your opinions. Remember that this is Drawrat, and I'm not just teaching you what works in ML, I'm teaching you why it works. See you next time, or rather, next year.